Hey y'all,
Hey,
I'm Desi.
I'm Keely, aka Dressage,
Welcome to the Rage episode of the commentary.
of the Ragentary.
The Ragentary.
I just thought of dysentery, like an Oregon Trail.
That's so hot.
Thanks. Okay, let's rage.
Lock in.
It's the government leaving all your people for dead. But if we're out in the streets, then that's a major offense. They might cut my mic, put me under arrest, because I don't make music for the 1%. You dropped the American dream, gotta sell your soul for a bite to eat. And when they scream out, what is all this for? Tell them there's nothing more American than starting a war.
I love that one.
I listen to it when I work out.
Yeah, I listened to it on a run the other day, and I was
Yeah.
like, what?
Ah, God! It's like when you texted me and you were like, I was listening to it and it just made me want to like sprint. And I was like, yeah.
Yep,
That's how I
that's it.
knew. That's how I knew. That was the single of the EP.
Yep.
Um,
That came out the Friday before inauguration.
yeah, and that was like the deadline that we were really killing ourselves over.
Yeah.
Where it was like, we have to get this out. We got it done, and I think it was absolutely worth it.
Yeah.
I think the timing was super important.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one's for me, it's so satisfying because I have a lot of anger. Not just
Why?
like, what do you mean?
I don't understand.
Like, I'm an Aries. So I just kind of like already have a lot of anger. And then with all of this stuff happening, it's just like that's such a prevalent emotion in this cycle, I think.
Yeah. And so righteous. Like, it's very, very valid.
Totally.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want this song to start a revolution.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want people to hear this and get fucking fired up.
Yeah.
Seeing the response, for the most part, it's people are like, I needed this song.
Yeah.
And that's how
That's
you know.
awesome.
Like,
Yeah.
that's a really cool feeling to be like, okay, we did this for a reason. Like,
Yep.
people really needed this song right now.
Yep.
Where do we even start with this one? Because she's a little bit of a beast.
Well, it's funny because people like, I almost think the comments that you've been getting about like Biden, like thinking that you were like, that this is about Trump.
People are like, oh, you're such a stupid little liberal. You wrote this song thinking it was about Trump and it's actually about Biden, you idiot. And I'm like, you are so missing the point of the entire song.
Yeah. And
Because
also like it actually was about Biden.
it was about Biden. Like,
Yeah.
Mr. President wanted to take my money, took it overseas, and he got it all bloody. That was literally about Biden
Yeah.
and Gaza. Just so many people missed the point of the song and they were like, you're coming after the right and we're going to come after you, you idiot. This is about the people versus the government.
Definitely.
We're in an oligarchy. It's about the 99 versus the 1. And these are all the same thing. And it's just so interesting to see the discourse in my comments because I have been looking at it a little bit. I was curious. I generally do try to stay away from my comments, but it's been really interesting to see the way people react too, because
Yeah.
there's such a trigger reaction where people are like, you say anything political and people want to rip your throat out.
I don't think I ever comment on
I
things.
never comment
Like,
on anything.
unless I'm like, to my friends.
unless I'm like,
"Go
you're
off."
hot.
Yeah. Hot bitch alert. Like, don't do anything else.
People's insults are so lukewarm. At least like try. And then when they don't actually have an insult or anything informative, they just throw out like the ugly bitch. I'm like, oop, you got me.
Oh, man.
You got me good.
Yeah.
Anyway, lyrics.
Well, do you want to talk about who you wrote this with?
Yeah, so I wrote this one with my friend, with Chandler Layton, who is an amazing artist, and this producer that we'd written with a couple times. His name's Stefano. He is a fucking crazy producer, and I went in, and it was our first session for my project, and I was like, guys, and again, it's sometimes risky to bring like political stuff into a session because some people just like shut it down.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, guys, I'm feeling a lot of anger today. And he had showed me this beat like the week before. And I was like, that is amazing. Let's use that at the session. And I came in with that concept of rage. And I've had this concept for years. I actually wrote an entire song after Roe v. Wade was overturned called Rage, that all of the lyrics are different. It's not the same song at all. But it was just like that same concept of like being angry at the government.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I want to rewrite it. And I had the lyrics. I'm a broke bitch, but I make a lot of hits. I work 3 jobs and they don't pay shit. I'm still on the cover of your favorite playlist. And I've had those for years. I've taken them to like 3 different sessions.
Oh shit.
They've never found a home before. And then I thought that it was kind of an interesting way to bring like the bad bitch energy and kind of hook people in the bad bitch way and then flip it on its head. Because it is still like a statement. Like working 3 jobs, they don't pay anything. Like the crazy thing of being an artist in this world and like having a decent amount of followers and people like, I just had somebody call me a celebrity. Somebody was like, you and your celebrity friends, like, can take all your money and can you do this? And I'm like, followers does not equal anything monetarily usually. I mean, yes, it can help you in certain ways and brand deals and whatever, but I was like, this doesn't mean anything. Essentially, like, I mean, it means something. But
it means something, but it doesn't mean what a lot of people think.
People think they see a certain amount of followers and you're like, oh, you're famous, or oh, you have money and you're successful. And those two things don't necessarily equate each other.
Even when you have a lot of followers, you can't reach them through the algorithm.
Yeah, there's so much censorship. It's insane. So I wanted to try and bring it into this session and see if we can be like, let's bring this in and then turn it into just something insane.
Yeah.
So I kind of like had all of these different concepts and pulled them all in together. And writing this was crazy.
When did you write it?
June of 2024.
Cool.
Like right before I went on tour maybe, or like May of 2024.
So it was after we wrote La Medicina.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah. And this was one of those days that sometimes I feel like I dissociate. Sometimes I feel really sad and heavy. And this day I was like fired up. Seeing shit all over the place on my feed. And I was so angry. And I was like, I have to write about this today. This is the only thing I can write about. And they were like, all right, like, let's strap in and do it.
Yeah.
And this one took a couple days to write too. Yeah, like the second stanza, Mr. President wanted to take my money, took it overseas and he got it all bloody. Got a front row seat, you think we don't see. Censoring our screens, ain't that funny? I mean, it kind of speaks for itself, but again, it's just so interesting to see the discourse online of people like missing the point of the song.
Yeah.
It sparks an important conversation, you know?
Yep.
That it's not us against each other fighting over our little grains of rice. That's not what's going to change anything.
No.
Change is only going to happen if we all actively work together and find common ground. And
well, there was that 3.5% of the population has to change the
3.5% of the population would be needed to overthrow the government by nonviolent means.
It's not that many people.
Not that many people. And based on what I'm seeing out there, I think that many people are upset enough to do something about it.
Yeah.
But how?
Yeah, I don't know. And I think the kind of flurry of like information and overwhelming, like the executive order flurry of shit that was like meant to overwhelm
totally
and totally like disarm everybody to be like
to just paralyze.
Yeah,
absolutely,
because there's just not like, I don't know,
and to cause fights.
Yeah,
like fully.
It just feels like we're all like, I don't know. It feels like it's like empty somehow. Like there's all these people who believe things, but like we're only talking to each other on the internet. And
yeah,
like where are actually people?
Where are the actual people, and how do we actually like unite?
Yeah,
genuinely, like that's a question that I've been grappling with. Is what do we do? Mm-hmm. And I think like that comes with time, and we're all kind of trying to figure it out. But like, what do we do?
Yeah,
because if we're so busy fighting each other, we're not paying attention to what's happening. We're not paying attention to the real issue here, which is like, we're in a class war.
Yeah.
Call it what it is, you know? Like, I think people will probably rip me apart for saying that because they're going to rip me apart for saying anything. But the distraction of you guys have different beliefs and you guys are the problem and Republicans are the problem and Democrats are the problem is fully just taking away from the fact that the people who actually have the power to change shit are not going to, because they only have their best interests at heart. Mm-hmm. They do not care about the 99% of us. Mm-mm. They'd rather throw us in a little ring together and have us at each other's throats while they're just profiting off of everything that we do.
Yep.
We're missing the point, guys.
We really are.
It's insane.
And it's rage-inducing, so.
Yeah.
Okay, so the burn it all down, build from the ground, gave us no choice. Are you listening now? It's very like French Revolution of you.
It's very French. That was my thought.
Cool.
French Revolution, a little bit of anarchy. It's just like, all right, like every system in this country is fucked. Every system is broken.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been proven time and time again that reform, first of all, they've made it impossible.
Yeah. Well, also, it just feels like now we're in such a divided place that it's going to go this way for 4 years and this way for 4 years. I don't even know if there's going to be 8-year presidencies anymore.
Yeah.
It just feels like,
Yeah.
And
we're all just like fighting for an edge.
Yeah.
And I just don't see any progress that way. And obviously this is like opinion, but I think these systems need to be completely rebuilt from the ground up.
Yep. It is unfortunate we're living in that time.
Yeah,
because
it's
it does feel
terrifying.
like it's all got to burn.
It's like, okay, that's our only option here is like, the government is not serving its people. It's not, we were built on taxation, no taxation without representation. Well, we don't have representation. These things keep happening and it just feels like we keep getting inundated with more stuff, more shit and more fights to fight. And we need to change the police departments and we need to change
Prisons.
welfare and we need to change prisons and we need to do all of this stuff. But if the foundation of your house is rotted, you got to tear it down.
If it was built on, I don't know, white supremacy and slavery, on stolen land and genocide, like maybe
your foundation is rotted.
maybe it's a complete rebuild, my guy.
Maybe it's a tear down.
I just want to rage. Rage. Fuck.
Yeah, no.
I got a lot of. And you know what I really like about this course is you're not singing. I mean, you're doing the little. You're doing. Yeah. We were like, I was like, can you do like old lady choral vibes?
I was like,
back?
oh, I got
Rage.
you. But yeah, that was like definitely a
It's
choice.
cool that it's just like a spoken.
Yeah, I wanted it to just be like an energy that kind of builds where I still wanted to play off the dissociation a little bit from Flowers.
Yeah.
Where like, I just want to rage.
Yeah.
Rage. And then as the song comes, like as it goes on and like the instruments are added and more vocals are added, then the energy builds.
Yep.
But it's just like, I just have a lot of anger and I don't know where to point it and I need to do something with it. And so it's like this, it's like a soda bottle that somebody's shaking up. And that's what the choruses kind of feel like to me.
And what I really liked about when you brought it to me, you were like, it like the song itself feels right, but like the production is so much more like electronic and trap than like what we're building here, which is very sort of like organic hybrid. And I was like, okay, well, like let's take it and let's keep that like trap sort of underbelly, but like let's add live drums. Let's add like a marching snare.
Jordan
like a smaller
a mini snare and like a bunch of like
and she played a full kit on it too, but it's like it's so cool because it's like it's got that like patriotic marching snare thing on it, which felt really cool to me.
I love that.
And then we added and I was like, let's keep the synth design, but like let's create this sort of like hybrid sound where there's like grunge guitars under it. And then you sang through this pedal.
Oh
which
yeah,
was, like,
that was fun.
so fun. I've used this on a bunch of horror scores where I like want things to feel really fucked up. This is The Bad Comrade by Recovery Effects.
Oh my god, it was so fun to sing through, and my vocal was just like,
it's so glitchy. It's like super like bit depth fucker,
distorted.
It just is messed up.
It's so messed up, and I loved it.
It's really fun. And so having you sing through that really sounded like Rage Against the Machine. It was cool to have like the grunge guitars that aren't necessarily like blown to shit like that, but then having these layers that are.
Well, I think it was cool because I love like everything that Steph did, and it gave it this really, really cool energy. And then you brought it more into the La Medicina world. Like it is the standalone song. Like the other three are very much like in the same boat sonically, and this is the one that's a little bit more like of the outcast, I guess. But it doesn't feel out of place to me.
No,
at all.
Totally not. No, and it's cool because it goes hard in that way that like you you get that energy from trap drums.
Yeah, and that's what the song needed. But the live kit on it just brought it more into the world, and then the guitars you added and these like choral stacks that were so cool.
Yeah, it was really fun.
And just like the randomly
and the gang vocals in the bridge.
Yeah,
Libby and I were doing. This is one thing about me is I will push for a gang vocal at any moment that I can. And for that bridge, I was like, let's make like a callback, like Brat. Like
that was the
at
only
first
thing that
I was
wasn't
like,
written.
it's Hard Knock Life kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Like, and then we ended up kind of leaning a little bit more like lower voiced, but it just was. I don't know, it was like a little hype choir of just
Yeah.
being like, you don't like it, quit.
Yeah.
Quit your jobs that aren't paying you.
And eat the rich.
And eat the rich.
You came out with that line, and I
proud
was
of
like,
that. Yeah. Nothing left to do but eat the rich.
I went,
Yeah.
what did you say? So good. Okay, so let's get into verse 2. Because this is the verse that's done well on socials the most. Mr. Government leaving all your people for dead, but if we're out in the streets, then that's a major offense. They might cut my mic, put me under arrest, because I don't make music for the 1%. New drop, the American dream. Gotta sell your soul for a bite to eat. And when they scream out, what is all this for? Tell them there's nothing more American than starting war.
I was like, oh, I don't want to drop it that high.
That one took me so long to write. That was like a day 2.
I like that a lot.
I had some of those lyrics, but they felt a little bit, they weren't hitting the way that I wanted them to. And they just really needed to be like, and the performance of this was had to be so specific.
we recut this, I think.
Because it was a little bit too like bratty, the original time that I did it. Because sometimes I like my little bratty moments.
It was Brat Summer. It was demure.
It was demure. And where it needs to be a little bit more like a direct like read.
Yeah.
A little bit more spoken. But yeah, I think people are also missing the point of these lyrics. Like, Mr. Government leaving all your people for dead, but if we're out in the streets, then that's a major offense. That, to me, there were multiple reasons. There were multiple meanings to that lyric, where it's, one, protest. I've been attending protests since I was like 18 in New York, and have run from the cops many, many times. And when you protest things that the government disagrees with, like, yeah, you might get arrested. It is a major offense, and it's becoming even more scary to be out on the streets.
Scary. Yeah, it does. Because also, if it's not the government, if it's not the police, it's gonna be like, I don't know, emboldened fucking MAGA people who are like trying to cause
like
violence.
counter protests. Yeah. And the second meaning of that is like literally unhoused people. It's about like welfare. Like, you're leaving all your people for dead, and if we're out, like, they are actually criminalizing people who are unhoused for being unhoused.
In California, that's Democratic leadership. That is,
yeah. I left the Mr. President and the Mr. Government vague on purpose, because you can listen to the song in any presidency that we've ever had, or any government, left wing, right wing, Biden, Trump, whatever, whoever, and it still stands.
And it's still a mister.
And it's always a mister.
Damn it.
Yeah, and I did that specifically. Like, at first I was like, oh, should I do like Madam Government or something like that? And I was like, no, we're in such in a patriarchy that it's like, yes, women can be horribly problematic, and there are terrible politicians who are women.
Well, like,
but
let's look at the percentages.
Overall. Yeah.
Can we maybe take a break from?
Yeah. So I left that vague on purpose, and was curious about how it would be received, because people just hear something political and they immediately make their assumptions.
Well, I think it's so interesting that last year, especially with, I think Gaza felt like there's a lot of things that progressives have never liked about Biden, and I am one of them. And I'm like, when it was like, Biden's our choice, but when he won over Trump, it was like, thank God. Like,
yeah,
and
it was
getting Kamala to be vice president, as also problematic as she is, in a progressive way, that felt really big. That felt huge.
I think we have such a problem when people glorify politicians.
Yeah.
And hold them like so far above reproach. Like, yeah, I was so pumped that Biden got elected, but it wasn't because of Biden. It wasn't because it was because it wasn't Trump.
Right.
And something that's so dangerous with MAGA is that he, in their eyes, he can make no mistake, and that is so dangerous.
It's culty.
That's the difference here. A lot of people that I know are willing to hold their politicians accountable. And with MAGA, it's so culty and dangerous.
It really doesn't. It feels like if they were to do any bit of holding accountable, that they think that is like them losing their like righteousness or something. Like, there's no.
Then
they have
wrong,
a leg up.
And they
It is very supreme leader.
It is, and that's such a scary mindset.
It's scary because I voted for Biden, and I voted for Kamala, but like, I have problems with both of them, and I still did it.
Yeah.
And I actually didn't want to, because I've like, especially this time around, I was like, you are still sending money to Israel, the government of Israel, who are killing people.
Yep.
And like,
actively committing genocide.
It's really hard to feel like those are the options you have.
It's not fun and it doesn't feel good. And I have never been the person who's like, I love Biden and I will vote left because I'm like, I have blind allegiance to.
No way.
No.
It's the same thing. It's like nobody has like the way that Trump flags exist. Like we don't have Biden flags like that.
No.
That's weird. So all that to say, like,
yeah.
I have a lot of problems with basically every politician that's ever.
Totally. And then the second part of the verse, new drop, the American dream, gotta sell your soul for a bite to eat. That was like a new version of the American dream, essentially. Like, it used to be the white picket fence. It used to be, I can attain this. Like, I can do anything in America. I can achieve my dreams and my goals and anything's possible. Now it looks completely different. The American dream is a complete lie. It's not a thing. It is so hard to get ahead in this country.
And our parents' generation, completely different story. Which is why these ideals of like, well, you should be able to do this, like go to college, get a job, and it's like, no, I'm going to college,
just not
and then
working
you're
hard
in
enough.
debt, and you can't get a job, and you're highly educated, and
Yep.
all of these things. And again, like we've been talking about how L.A., New York, if you are like a queer person, a person of color, you are progressive, like it does feel like kind of the only safe place right now.
Yeah.
And it's the most expensive. I mean, there are plenty of other places that are safe socially as well, but it's just like...
But they are probably like the most progressive, I would say.
Yeah.
And
like I can hold Jordan's hand outside here.
Yeah.
And that feels good.
and I don't feel.
And also not all places either. But like
yeah, for
in
sure.
our neighborhood, it feels like, all right, this is not going to be
In
an
like
anomaly here.
Absolutely. Gotta sell your soul for a bite to eat. I don't even want to go into that line. It kind of just says what it needs to.
Totally.
You know? This is my favorite of the entire song. When they scream out, what is all this for? Tell them there's nothing more American than starting a war. In my mind, when I wrote this, it was like the government, the 1%, them being like, what are you even fighting for? Like, you taught us. In my mind, it's like the revolution. It's kind of like this quip. It's like biting back a little bit. It's like, why are you fighting?
Yeah.
We're Americans. You
Yeah.
taught us how to fight.
That's all that we have been shown.
That's all we've been shown. So we're going to fucking fight and get our rights back. And we're going to get not our country, but I don't even believe, I'm not a patriotic person at all. I've never been one of those people that's like, our country. I'll fight for my country.
It's an embarrassment.
I will fight for my people.
Yeah.
And my rights. And the rights of my people.
Mm-hmm.
I will not, I don't give a shit about this country.
Yeah.
It doesn't give a shit about me. You know?
Mm-hmm.
So that line, yeah, that one just, I wrote it and I was like, is that too much? And Steph
No.
was like,
Just enough.
perfect. That's perfect. And then we go to the bridge. I love this bridge because a big theme in my music is like wit. Like I like having kind of like cheeky lyrics, cheeky performance, and the rest of this performance is not cheeky. Like some of the lyrics are, but it's pretty like focused in. It's like a read, and this is kind of the reprieve from that. It's all call and responses. I'm a broke bitch.
She's a broke bitch.
I work 3 jobs and they don't pay shit.
She works 3 jobs and they don't pay shit.
Quit. I'm a broke bitch. She's a broke bitch. Nothing left to do but eat the rich.
Nothing left to do but eat the rich. I just wanna.
I think what was so cool about having the call and response in it is it brings the listeners in.
Yeah.
And like, of course, that's always fun in a live show and in songs to have a call and response, but it feels intentional.
Yeah, seeing this live will be really fun.
Totally.
Actually.
And I want to like build on that as a whole thing. But even like in the recording, in the song, I want it to feel like the listener is a part of this. Like I want it to feel like we're all angry together.
Yeah. It's like a way cooler version of Senorita by Justin Timberlake.
100%.
Oh my God, that just came to my mind.
Totally. Oh, that song. But yeah, I just love this bridge.
Yeah.
Nothing left to do but eat the rich is so good. You came in clutch with that one.
Thank you so much.
You were just like, yeah. And the quit was so satisfying.
That was fun.
I just love it.
Yeah.
It's so satisfying.
And it's cool that it goes down to just like drums there.
Yeah.
And like palm muted guitars and those vocals.
Yeah, which makes the last chorus even more impactful too.
Yeah, and then we get your vocal going through that pedal and we're in Rage Against the Machine land.
Yeah.
Like, you just went off. It was so fun.
Yeah, like if you listen and you hear like the like that's me. That's my voice through a pedal, which is crazy.
Yeah.
And then like all the choral stacks.
Rage.
Oh my God.
So cool.
Yeah.
It was fun. Yeah, and it was fun to have really the melodic and harmonic like vocal arrangement just be in the backgrounds and be that choral sound, and the lead be like all talking basically.
Yeah, that was like a really cool creative decision because I knew that it needed more. Like when me and Steph were working on it, I was like, this needs more, but I couldn't figure out what it was, and I kept adding more like shouty stacks. I was like, this isn't it yet. So then coming in with the context of all the stacks we'd been doing on everything else, and we were like, let's just try it.
Yeah.
It was one of those, we'll try it and we'll just see. Yeah, literally. And I was just like,
I just wanna.
and we're like, we don't know if it'll work. And then we listened and we were like,
It works.
oh, it works.
Yeah.
And it elevates it so much. Like
yeah,
that was
just like epic because it's like that kind of epic, big, you know,
it is epic.
scary choir being like,
it's so satisfying.
Do you have any more comments you want to look
Oh,
at?
let me see. Someone said, I'm not sure you have a future in music, sir. You should definitely keep your OnlyFans page going.
Ah, I wish.
Someone
I wish
said,
I had a successful
I wish.
OnlyFans page. I mean, I don't.
I wish I had the balls
would,
to have an
though.
OnlyFans.
Damn.
I really wish I had the balls.
Laughing all the way to the bank.
Yeah, seriously. That's
And
not
it
an
makes-
insult.
No, it makes sex work safe. I love that for people.
Me too. Also, okay, here's the thing. Empathy, having empathy and caring about other people, if that makes me, this is the left versus right thing. Like so many people on the right are like,
I know. Like, why
are you coming after me and calling me like a bleeding heart liberal? Like I am not ashamed of the fact that I care about the people around me.
Right.
I'm not ashamed that I care about other people. And ultimately, when your rights are taken away, when you can't afford to eat, I will still be fighting for you.
Right.
I'm not just fighting for me and the people I love. I'm also fighting for you because you also deserve those things.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the difference, is these people do not think that we deserve that.
Or even if they don't actively think you don't deserve it, they just don't care enough to
And that to
think
me,
about other people besides themselves.
that like ambivalence,
It's violent.
it is violent. And that is all I need to know. So, sorry, that was my rant.
I don't understand why that sector of Americans that's not like, especially because it's so tied in with Christianity, like why is that not a major? And the thing that's confusing is I know plenty of people who are like, they do believe that you should be nice and kind to people and good to people, but they're still going to vote that way.
Yeah. Which I'm like, okay, hypocrite.
Yeah.
Somebody called me a lot of people call me a terrorist every time I speak on Palestine. I think what's interesting about being somebody who's like biracial or like, I'm very white passing, but I'm also Latina. I explain it like this: in a room full of white people, I'm the person of color, and in a room full of people of color, I'm the white person.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's really interesting.
it's a very, very interesting place to exist. Yeah, I have this conversation with a lot of people who are like biracial or bisexual or all of these things that feel like in between, like you're not enough of anything.
Person.
Yeah, so like
White
being
passing.
kind of white-ish is really interesting. The amount of people that are like, go back to Pakistan.
Like what?
People
Yeah.
call me a terrorist all the time, and I know what they're talking about. I know what they're referring to.
Which is so fucked up because that is also like American media
Yes,
really has painted. It's like
absolutely.
who does America want you to think when you think terrorist?
Yeah, exactly.
It's racist as fuck.
It's so racist. And just like a lot of my comments are just people calling me a calling me a terrorist, calling me a whore, calling me an idiot. Like a lot of people are calling it cringe, which I'm like, come up with a better insult.
Right.
Anyway, there's a lot. I could go into these for days because there's hundreds of them, and they're long. They're paragraphs. Anti-capitalist that you're trying to capitalize with this song and make money. Hypocrisy.
Joke's on you. We don't make any money.
I'm not a musician to be rich.
No.
And also, yeah, I am going to capitalize off of it because I do have to pay my bills.
Yeah, just like you capitalize off of anything else you do to make money.
You don't work for free. Why should I?
No, exactly.
Yeah, so we could keep going on this one for a long time. But we should probably move on to the fourth and final track.
Yeah, the acceptance track called Go What Goes.
Yep. Let's do it.